So today's lecture we are going to study about next chapter, that is quantitative inheritance. बराबर है ना? And cytoplasmic inheritance. Quantitative inheritance and cytoplasmic inheritance are consisting somewhat different concept and ideology than traditional normal genetic concept. So normal genetics deals with the qualitative normal study of genetics comes under qualitative inheritance, where we study about whatever hypotheses are proposed by George Mendel. So quantitative inheritance is different from qualitative inheritance. We will be studying quantitative inheritance with respect to few examples. So today's chapter is quantitative inheritance and cytoplasmic inheritance, which are something different. We will discuss cytoplasmic inheritance later. First we will talk about quantitative inheritance. So how quantitative inheritance is different? Quantitative inheritance is also known as polygenic inheritance. Quantitative inheritance is also called as polygenic inheritance. Polygenic means, yes, very good. Many genes are contributing for a character. One character, you can say. Many genes are involved for expression of one character. Already we have studied that a particular gene, in molecular biology we have studied that particular gene is showing its expression by transcription and translation. Finally protein are produced. So many gene produces many proteins, many enzymes are responsible for these characters. These characters comes under quantitative inheritance. J character, single character, is controlled by many genes, such as character which are countable. For example, weight of a fruit, number of pods. Do you know pods? शेंगा म्हणतो आपण त्याला. Number of seeds in pods means the things which are countable comes under polygenic inheritance. So when we say things which are countable, for example height, can be studied by using some simple examples. You can differentiate between qualitative inheritance and quantitative inheritance, which we will discuss after studying one example. So this chapter is very easy. In order to attempt practical which are designed on quantitative inheritance, you can get out of marks. If you have a plant which you are crossing with another plant, in this plant if you are considering one character, that character is height. This is one character. Already in practical we have studied about quantitative inheritance practical with the help of example. Here I am just highlighting what we are going to do here. We are going to select two plants who are different or showing variation for the character. A plant having height of cob length, or you can take any example, you can say length of meristem, that does not matter. If that plant having cob length almost around 21 centimeter to 29 centimeter in a range, there are many plants. Out of those plants you are selecting one plant whose cob length is varying from 21 centimeter to 29 centimeter. So you can take average. What will be the average? 25 centimeter. So you can say that plant having cob length of 25 centimeter length. Then you are going to select another plant whose cob length is from 2 centimeter to 5 centimeter. On an average, you can say 3 centimeter average cob length. When you cross these two plants, you will get which generation? F1 generation. This F1 generation will show certain type of length which should be intermediate to two plants. It should be ranging from between this to this. For perfect calculation, you have to consider that height of this plant cob length is controlled by two genes, name A and B. Two genes are controlling one character. Which character? Height of what? Cob length. So if you are considering that this plant is homozygous dominant condition, after a long time I am calling this word homozygous dominant, and this plant is homozygous recessive in condition, you have to follow certain rules to solve this type of example. So this is complete scenario. There is a particular style of solving problems which are based upon this type of concept, polygenic inheritance or quantitative inheritance. The problem is one plant having cob length 25 centimeter, another plant having cob length 3 centimeter. How to solve such problems we are going to discuss. Considering that height, that is character, is controlled by two genes. One plant is homozygous dominant for two genes, another plant is homozygous recessive for both genes or two genes. So in this way you can do one simple practice. What was the average cob length? 25 centimeter, and here 3 centimeter. So you have to find out first of all the effect of each allele or contribution of each allele for the height of cob length. How you can find out the contribution of each allele? Here you have 4 alleles are contributing, which are resulting 25 centimeter. Here no allele is in dominant condition, so no allele is contributing for the height of cob length. This height is standard height. Standard height. So my first question is how you can determine contribution of each allele. Our concepts are depending upon this problem. So I am asking you how you can find out contribution of each allele. 25 minus 3 divided by 4. Why 4? What are these 4? You are very right, but explain me this. 25 is the maximum length of the cob, 3 is the minimum length of the cob, so you can write maximum length and minimum length of cob divided by 4. What is this 4? We are not going to F1 generation. Still F1 generation is very later concept. I am asking you. Yes, here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 allele are contributing. So that's why we have written 4 here. So you have to mention number of alleles contributing. So what will be the answer? 22 divided by 4. 5.5 is the length contributed by each allele. So each allele is contributing 5.5 centimeter. Now things are very easy, but you have to remember the underlying statement is that each allele is contributing, please listen carefully, each allele is contributing 5.5 centimeter height to the basic 3 centimeter. Each allele is contributing 5.5 centimeter height in basic 3 centimeter. Why? Because you can notice no dominant allele is present here. Still cob length is 3 centimeter, that is basic height. In this 3 centimeter, if you have one dominant allele, then you have to plus 3 centimeter plus 5.5 centimeter. Accordingly, you are going to solve the problem using the information just we have discussed here. This is standard height. So F1 generation, how many different types of gametes this plant can produce? How many different types of alleles, gametes, how many different types of gametes can be produced by this plant? No other possibility? Yes. So these are gametes. And how many different types of gametes? Yes, very good. So when you mix these gametes, you will have F1 generation. So now tell me what will be the height of this F1 generation. How? Each gamete is contributing 5.5 plus 5.5 plus basic 3. किती 5.5 किती 11 plus 3 14 centimeter is the height of F1 generation. In your exam they will ask you straightforward way, by given information tell the height of F1 generation, cob length of F1 generation. So it will be very easy for you. So don't forget that you have to add the contribution of each allele in basic height. Are you getting my point? You cannot just add these two alleles and you cannot leave this 3 value. Why? Because 3 centimeter height is there, still no dominant allele is there. Character expression is there, but height, basic height is 3 centimeter. In that you are adding 11 centimeter. Because 2 dominant allele are here, each allele contributing 5.5 centimeter. That's why 14 centimeter is F1 generation. Using F1 generation, you have to create F2 generation. And in F2 generation, whatever data is generated, you will have to plot a bell-shaped curve graph. Yes. So here things are very easy. I am sure you must have understood. So 25 centimeter cob length crossed with 3 centimeter cob length plant, genotype is this. Gametes are produced. These are parents. Gametes. Sorry. Its height is. So you are going to find out F2 generation by crossing F1 generation with another F1 generation. Selfing you can say. F1 with F1. So you will have to first show the different types of gametes produced by this F1. How many different types of gametes can be produced? By formula 2 raised to n. What is this n? Number of heterozygote gene. 2 heterozygote gene are there. That's why 4 types of gametes should be produced. So how can you find out 4 type of gamete? AB, 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 AB. Yes. So this way you have to show 4 different types of gametes. बरोबर ना. झालं ना. अजून एक. You have to write gamete here. AB, 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 AB. Likewise, so you have shown here different types of gametes. Now you have to create Punnett square chart. इकडे बघण्यापेक्षा आपल्या नोटबुकमध्ये केलं तरी चालेल. This is very interesting. I will explain you this in a moment. So once we have drawn this chart, with the help of this chart, you can show that at one region, these are how many different progenies are created? Different types. 16 different types of progenies are created in F2 generation. This is F2 generation. Yes or no? 16 different types of progenies are produced. Out of these 16 different types of progenies, one type of progeny will show all alleles are in dominant condition. So what will be the height of cob length of this type of 25 centimeter, and this 3 centimeter. Very good. So now you have to be very careful to find out the length of cob length in remaining progenies. So in this progeny you will have what will be the height? 3 plus 5.5 plus 5.5 plus 5.5. इलेवन प्लस 5.5 म्हणजे 16.5. 16.5 plus 3, 19.5. So 19.5. How many progenies are here showing 19.5 centimeter height? How many progenies are here showing 19.5 centimeter height? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So now here you have two dominant allele. So what will be the height? 14 centimeter. How many progenies are there having 14 centimeter height? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. कुठे? हां 6. So you have this data where 19.5 cob length showed by 4 progenies. What is remaining here? So only one dominant allele are here. आता त्यांना काय साइन काढू मी? ट्रायंगल काढतो. 1 2 3 4 अजून 4. तर इथं किती हाईट आहे त्याची? 8.4 progenies are here. So this is data in front of you which is showing you out of 16 progenies, one progeny having maximum height, one progeny having minimum height, 4 progenies having 19.5 cm cob length height, 4 progenies having 8.5 cm cob length height, and 6 progenies having 14 cm height. So what is it showing? If you watch carefully, if you notice, when we have grouped 14 cm member, you did not care about to which gene dominant allele are belonging. Are you getting my point? कुठल्याच जीनचे डॉमिनंट ॲलेल आहेत ते तुम्ही बघितलेलं नाही. You just have noticed that how many dominant allele are there. For example, in this case, 2 dominant allele are present, but these 2 dominant allele are belonging to one gene. And in this case, 2 dominant allele are present, but 2 dominant allele are belonging to 2 different genes. But effect is same. So in polygenic inheritance, you have to mention in one line that cumulative effect of each allele is responsible for contribution of character expression, or additive effect of each allele for expression of character is measured. Cumulative effect of each allele or additive effect of each allele is measured. Each and every allele has its own contribution in character expression. This is the underline, bottom line, or you can say tagline of polygenic inheritance. What just I have said?
Cumulative or additive effect of each allele.
What do you mean by additive effect?
Combination. एकत्र होतात.
Means if 4 allele are dominant, all allele are showing their effect in character expression. If 2 allele are dominant, does not matter whether those 2 dominant allele of one gene or one dominant allele from 2 different gene. म्हणजे काय? Both allele are dominant of one gene having same effect, where one dominant allele of each gene having same effect. इथंच एक्झाम्पल आहे ना. हा जिनोटाईप असला काय झालं आणि हा जिनोटाईप असला तरी काय झालं, इफेक्ट सेम आहे. You have to write this and you have to understand this, that in polygenic inheritance just we have studied the simplest example where 2 genes are contributing for character. Are you getting my point? No? Yes. So with the help of data given in front of you, you can draw one graph, and which is mandatory to draw the graph. How can you draw graph? कसा ड्रॉ करणार ग्राफ? You have to draw graph with the help of axis, x axis and y axis. You have to write scale. On x axis, what will you give? Length of what? Cob. And y axis? Progenies. So you can write 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 and 25, which is very near to 24. So here इथं काय आपलं प्रोजेनिस नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maximum 6 is there. So how many progenies are showing 25? 1. So you have to, How many progenies are showing 3 centimeter height? 1. So you have to find out here. How many progenies are showing height of 14 centimeter? 6. So it will come here. Barabar. How many progenies are showing height of 14 centimeter? झालं. तर 19.5 सेंटीमीटर 4 इथं येईल ना. हाऊ मेनी प्रोजेनीज आर शोइंग हाइट 8.5 सेंटीमीटर 4. 8.5 means it will come here. So we have this information. Now you are going to plot or draw one line. Very beautiful way you can represent. This graph is polygenic inheritance expression, and this is mandatory to plot a graph, and you should be able to plot a graph. If you are drawing a graph without making any error, that means you have understood whatever information is given to you, whatever calculation done by you. Examiner will just see the graph, he will come to know that you have understood. पाठांतर करण्यासारखं याच्यात काय नाही. It is all about concepts. You can take any example. Just we have taken one example which is very random in the nature. So this graph is of expression of polygenic inheritance. So with the help of this example we are going to highlight certain concepts. First of all, polygenic inheritance does not obey Mendelian inheritance protocol. In Mendelian inheritance, which is alternatively called as qualitative inheritance, in which one gene is responsible for one character. Here you can mention that 2 genes are responsible for one character. Qualitative inheritance represents characters which are different from quantitative inheritance. For example, in quantitative inheritance you are having characters which are having measurable tendency. Means you can count them. Height you can count, weight you can count, but color you cannot count. That will go under qualitative inheritance. लक्षात आलं का आता काय बोललो मी. मोजता येते ते आपण याच्यामध्ये घेऊ शकतो. In quantitative inheritance, each allele has its own contribution. Means one character is controlled by 4 alleles, you can say. Rather saying 2 genes are contributing for character, you can say 4 alleles are contributing for character. More the number of alleles, more will be the expression of that character. Now Laksha, this is something different from Mendelian.
More the number of dominant alleles.
Yes, more the number of dominant allele. Working allele. More the number of working dominant or allele which are expressing will have result. So if you have 4 allele here and 4 allele here, these 4 allele have no effect on character. Rather, these 4 allele have dominant effect or having contribution effect on the character. Are you getting my point? काय नाही समजलं ना. With the help of this example you can write any concept based upon polygenic inheritance. This graph is mandatory. You have to select x axis and y axis. You have to write that scale, and after that you have to solve the problem. So it was regarding first part of this chapter, quantitative inheritance. Now next topic will be cytoplasmic inheritance.